Ladies and gentlemen, Worlds is almost here. We're about 24 hours away, depending on when you're watching this, from the keynote that kicks off the World Championship in Osaka. If you're over there in Osaka, please enjoy your time. For me, I am crushed deep down to not be there. It's my first Worlds to miss, so I will be hopefully taking in as much as possible on the streams. And one thing that we could be seeing very soon on this keynote is, well, what set we're going to be engaging in next in January. In fact, I think it's probably going to release in February, but what set will we have access to next? So I told you in my last video, I am going to give you my opinion, and I hope that I'm right on this one. It's not pirates, okay? Stop. I know you're leaving a comment, pirates, down there. Stop it, okay? Not everything has to be about pirates. Don't comment pirates down below or pirates, I told you so. Don't give it to me. No, I have a different idea. I'm not a one-trick pony, okay? So I'm going to give you two. The first one is the reason I have Viserai still up from the last video, and that could be this. We could be visiting an Arathiel set. Do I believe it? No. But could we be? Yeah, of course. We definitely could be. Now, you may be thinking, why in the world would we go to Arathiel if James White said in an interview that it will not be the conclusion of the Monarch trilogy, if you will? You don't have to be concluding the Monarch trilogy when they go to Arathiel. You could actually wrap up the battle in 2026, like he said, with a final showdown. This right here could be a side quest, which is actually set up in the lore. For those that don't know, Viserai is actually wandering around in Arathiel. Arathiel is the mirror realm, I should say, the mirror dimension to this current world of Wraith, and it is a place that is crazy and full of like these weird monster things called Embra that want to envelop and consume your soul. And that is where the shadow talent originates from, and right now, Viserai is kind of wandering around in there with some members of the Disciples of Pain from the Demonastery. So we could be going there. And in the storyline, there's actually like this cliffhanger moment in the storyline of Dusk Till Dawn where I believe the good guys find a way to go into Arathiel at the same time as the walls of Solana are being breached by the hordes of the shadow, right? So if that's the case, this could be the next set. And you know what? We're going to Prague for the release, which is a beautiful city with amazing architecture. And so, yeah, it kind of makes sense. It kind of seems like a pretty good solid fit. But if I had to put money on it, I would not do this because I think they've left some breadcrumbs. Look, here's the thing. Legend Story Studios likes to do this thing where they like make an announcement or release a thing or change something up. And it seems at the face of it to be just, you know, an announcement for the announcement's sake. Like, here, we're doing it because of this reason, or we're doing this, or we're releasing this because of the immediate now. But hindsight allows us after the fact to realize that they did it because of the thing that's coming 2 sets from now. Or in this case, I think 1 set from now. Now, what am I referring to? Okay, let me press a couple of buttons. Hold on. What buttons am I going to press? I got to start with this one. Okay, here we go. I got the buttons all pressed. Now, this is the ban and restricted announcement. This is essentially the book banning. Okay, so for those that didn't know, they banned a lot of cards. They banned Art of War, Bonds, Cash-In, Orihan, Tome of Aetherwind, Tome of Divinity, Fiendal, and Firebrand. So a lot of different books that draw to. Basically a bunch of cards that give you good card draw. And a lot of these are duh. I mean, Tome of Fiendal, Tome of Divinity, Tome of Aetherwind, Orihan, all kind of makes sense. Art of War, Bonds. There were 2 on this list that were a bit of a head scratcher. First of them is Cash-In, a card that is near and dear to my heart. I loved this card from Crew. I was always excited and waiting to see the payoff that was the gold and the silver, of course. We got that drip fed to us. We had it in our hands. We got to play Cash-In Kasai, and then it was ripped from us, and I'm still sad. But Tome of Firebrand is the real head scratcher because this card's objectively bad. It's not good. Not many people play that card to much success. So why would they remove a card like Tome of Firebrand, which they said, I mean, maybe one day this card could be problematic. You know, a card like this could be problematic. Cash-In, a card like that certainly could be problematic down the line. But they've done this type of thing before where they say, you know, down the line, this could be an issue. And then it turned out the very next set, it would have been an issue. So why this? Well, is there a region or a location or a storyline they could pick up on and continue with that has both the draconic talent and the access to gold and other currency, of course, and maybe has a hero or two with a dangling storyline thread that could, you know, or maybe deserves a hearty resolution, and maybe another place that has a hero that many people are expectantly waiting for. Yes, that's right. I think we're going to Volcor, and I think that there's more reason than just Cash In and Toma Firebrand to explain it. I think, first of all, we have been being drip fed. I'll just put it that way. All of these different dusts. There's like dust from the Chrome Caverns. There's dust, for those that didn't know, there's dust from the Shadow Crypts. There's the most recent one, dust from the Fertile Fields. Dust from the Golden Plains. You've got the Stillwater Shrine, which we had in Mistvale. All the way back to Dynasty with dust from the Red Desert. So all of these dusts have been given to us over time, and in a way have sort of laid the foundation for Dromai Ash Artist to perhaps one day become the Dromai that she always meant to grow up to be, the Empress Dromai. And this could be an opportunity for us to see that again. But you know, there's more than just Dromai being re-released into the world via this new set. That makes a lot of sense. And this one is, maybe it's a little bit of a reach. Maybe just go with me, okay? So here's the thing. I'm just going to put any old random card up because it doesn't really matter. So for those that don't know, Wizard exists in the game of Flesh and Blood, and Wizard is cool, and we just got a Wizard set. Technically, it was a Wizard and Runeblade set, and technically, it was really a Runeblade set. I mean, it was a really good Runeblade set. Like, there's a lot of good Runeblade cards. Runeblades are at the top of the meta. They're very good right now. And well, Wizards got Zaps and Surge cards. Yeah, Surge. Okay, so here's the funny thing. After a full set of Wizard support, Wizard still has the second smallest card pool in the game. Second only to the 170 cards that Assassins have available to them. Now, this is not a very specifically just Wizard, non-talented. I literally just searched all of the, you know, class cards. So this does count talents as well. But 170 cards for Assassin. I think Wizard has like 204. And then Ranger's right after that with like 207. And then everything after those three classes, I'm pretty sure are pretty high up there because a lot of them are heavy hitters heroes or they're mechanologists, which had an entire set dedicated to it. So Wizard has a lot of space and ground to make up compared to other heroes in the class card pool department. So what does that mean? Well, we have a re-release of one hero already. Why don't they just run the whole frickin' thing back and re-release Icelander at the same time? And not only do you get to do this, but you also have a new way. They've already shown Jarl Vitradi, right? Jarl Vitradi is going to be coming and giving us Frostbite access. Again, disruption in the form of Frostbite. This is an opportunity for Icelander to return, not as disruptive as before, but still perhaps with the essence of ice. Now, originally when she was printed, as you can see here, she could play, you know, blue cards from her arsenal, you know, on her opponent's turn. Very easy to meet that requirement and to be disruptive. But if we're looking at the storyline, Dromai, of course, we all assume, ascends the throne and becomes the Empress of Volcor. And you can do some cool mechanical stuff with that. Icelander is possibly in an even more interesting position because where they left her storyline, she had just discovered that not only does she have the essence of ice, but apparently she can at the very least understand or maybe feel the aether from a draconic side of herself. Meaning that somehow she has access, or at the very least, some connection to both. That could, and she was entering into a draconic library in the capital city to try and understand her powers more. Now, maybe I'm reading too far into that storyline, but heck, it's my headcanon. I'm pretty sure I read all of that, actually. It's not my headcanon, scratch that. I'm pretty sure that's like just where they left the storyline, which means that we could be seeing Iyslander get the full-on Emperor treatment. For those that don't know, the Emperor used to exist until he got assassinated, but he was a royal draconic warrior wizard hero. Okay, royal draconic warrior wizard. That's 4 different like subsets of cards. Iyslander could become an elemental draconic wizard hero, which means she would get access to draconic cards, she would get access to wizard cards, and the Essence of Ice elemental cards, which could be very cool because you follow the elemental set of Rosetta with another elemental hero, but really not tied and kind of pushed into the elemental side, pushed into the new draconic side. This is all kind of up here. I'm not saying I know anything about it. I would say this is more likely than the Arathiel set, but maybe deep down in my heart, it's just what I want. The other reason is like cards like Tome of Firebrand could be, conceivably very good with Iyslander. So you remove it, right? You remove it. And of course, if you have a Kasai tucked in here, or if you decide to run Warriors stuff out there, it makes sense to remove, a card like Cash In, because Warriors might gain in this sort of setup, Warriors might gain more utility and more accessibility to gold, or just anyone might gain more accessibility to gold because gold in its original form, or just all, like coppers and silvers, were depicted in a very draconic and Volcorish style. And finally, what does it do besides those 2 things? Well, there's this hero that existed for a hot minute called Phi, and he was very good. He even won Worlds once, but that was after he had died. So his rumors of his death were greatly exaggerated, at the very least for that tournament. Nevertheless, Phi is in a bad spot and could use some help. And how best to help him than give him a set with a bunch of draconic cards. Like, for example, there's this card called Blaze Headlong, which is quite good. It's just a 0 for 4 that encouraged you to play a red card, right? I mean, give him more cards like that, and Phi is feeling good again. This is a hero that deserves to have a place. I mean, technically, all heroes are pretty awesome and deserve something. But Phi is one of those that's been down for a while. And even though technically he's a world champ, yeah, he's been down for a while. We're just going to say it. He's unplayed. And this could be an opportunity to bring 2 new heroes back into the fold and buff up one of them, buff up a card pool, revisit a draconic talent, and just make everyone a little bit happier. So look, if it's not pirates, it might as well be the next best thing. And that's volcanoes? Is that how that works? Volcanoes? I don't know. It could very well be that's how that works. But if that's not what the set is, I don't know. Maybe it's like a true Savage Lands set. Maybe it's oh god, if it were pirates. if it were a full-on like high seas type set. Daggers to the heart. It'd be so beautiful. It'd be so good. So beautiful. I don't know. Leave a comment down below with what you think it's going to be. But I think we're going back to Volcor. At least I hope we're going back to Volcor, because that's a cool place, man. Hey, if you enjoyed this type of video, make a number. Go to another number, because we like numbers going up. And if you want to support the channel, you can buy a Flesh and Blood Advent Calendar, 25 packs, a pack from every single major set ever released. I package them up. I send it to your door. You open it every day, 1 pack at a time, and enjoy the holiday season. So if you'd like to support my channel and all the stuff that we get to do and help me get to all of these great events and meet you in person, pick up one of these. I've already sold a bunch of them. If you want to join and open these packs with us, check out the link in the description. As always, thanks for watching.